big guy does. Oh, look at that. I think we got Joe. I can see Joe ceiling.
Yeah, that's all you can see right now. My ceiling.
Hey, ceilings work, man.
This is
How you know where the top is by looking at the ceilings. I think. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, 9 out of 10, I'll be waiting. I'll just be waiting to get logged in. Then I just let me just sit the phone down. And by then, I'll be in.
That makes sense. We're brought to you by Prince Nana Coffee. Right there on that cup. That promo code, don't say the F word. Save yourself 10%. Fresh roasted coffee shipped right to your house. Joe, you got coffee?
I don't got coffee right now. No.
Joe probably thinks it's too late for coffee. I mean, it's after 5 p.m. It's probably too late for you to be drinking coffee, too. Oh, I guess maybe. I don't know.
No. It's never too late. I would say this.
Joe, do you see what he's wearing? Oh, wait, hold on. No, you go ahead. What were you saying about coffee? I like coffee. That's why I don't blink.
I would say it depends. If you're like a second or third shift person, you would need coffee right now.
I'm a first shift person.
Depends on what time of day you wake up.
Today it was about 8 a.m. But I didn't go to work today.
Coffee will still work. Coffee works?
Yeah, I didn't work today. I took a vacation. Yeah. He went to the amusement park.
I know. It was like second place of car home.
Tell him what happened? Oh. Well, I seen a guy he had the OG UFC logo tattooed on his leg. So I hooked him up with a sticker. No, not that part. About what happened at the farmer's market. Oh, at the farmer's market, I got recognized from the podcast. Got to give out a sticker. That story's a bit far-fetched. You weren't even there, man. How are you going to you told me to tell the story, and you're going to ruin the story? Yeah. His story is he was recognized from the podcast. That's not what happened, Joe.
Okay. We'll hear point A side, then point B. So point B is Mark. Let's hear your side first.
Yeah, your sister, his wife, she told me all about it. Okay. Why'd she have to spill the beans, man? Don't worry about it. But anyway, yeah, he didn't get recognized from the podcast. He got recognized because he's wearing a shirt with his own face on it. All right, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So the kid working at the farmer's market said, "Is that you on your shirt?" After staring at it for a little while, and he was like, "Yeah," and they started getting out stickers. That's exactly what happened. That's 100% exactly how it went down.
Okay.
But I digress, Joe. I digress.
I would too, like, oh, that's you on your shirt? Yeah, not bad.
Hey, it's an opportunity, right? Oh, gotta get that camera in the right spot. So, Joe.
Yeah.
We've had we've had a decent week of pro wrestling, right?
Yeah, decent. Mm-hmm.
Behind me, right now, you'll see playing is something from the WWE Vault.
I can't tell if that's Kevin Nash walking in.
It is.
Okay.
It's Nash and Hall.
Okay.
This is July 1st, 1996, WCW Nitro. They're currently showing.
Oh, okay. That's his fourth week before they came out.
So, what this is from the Vault is this is the story of Crow Sting.
Crow Sting. Yeah.
Crow Sting. That's what it's like 2.5 hours, I think, on YouTube, WWE Vault YouTube channel, and it's the story of Crow Sting.
Okay.
And it's got me thinking. We oftentimes, when you talk about WCW in the mid-90s, and Eric Bischoff likes to hang his hat on the 83 weeks of beating WWF. in ratings. 83 straight weeks, I guess I should say.
83 straight weeks, that's right.
And we oftentimes, we accredit that to the NWO. Right? It's usually the NWO story is why they beat WWF. And
that's in NWO.
It's kind of the go-to. It's kind of what we lean on. But I kind of got to thinking about stuff. And someone sent me like what they think is going on with the four faces of AEW, which I kind of like that phrase. Talking about currently Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Danny Garcia, and Hook. We used to have the three pillars. The opinion now is we have the four faces. I'm inadvertently wearing my old glasses right now, and they are not.
They ain't the best for you.
They really are not. They're a little foggy, a little messed up. But anyway, and the general belief is one that I can agree with wholeheartedly, is that the end game for what is a very hot storyline in AEW is Moxley. The end game is Mox versus Darby Allin. But he's going to work his way through the four faces. Makes sense, right? He's gotten a great match out of Orange Cassidy in the past. So he can play into the whole Orange Cassidy doesn't apply himself. He's not got a title. Blah blah blah.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. But the idea that Jon Moxley's story is the story is the Trojan horse, if you will, of the Darby Allin story. Got me to thinking. Was it really the NWO that was so hot for WCW? Or was it Crow Sting? Was Sting seeking vengeance the actual hot story, not the NWO? We just all thought it was the NWO?
All right, so it's kind of a twist here. This is a very good question. It's a twist. You had to think back then, back in the 90s, I know the whole story. It was more about, I would say, it was more about which show had the best entertainment to keep you drawn to it.
Now was that the gang warfare of the NWO? And that realism? Because that's always the story that we're told, right? Mm-hmm. The story we get told, because history is written by the winners. So every WCW story is told by the WWE. And the convoluted memory of Eric Bischoff. The story we get told is that it was the NWO, was what was hip and what was cool, and they were this realism. Were they really? Were they really what was so hip and cool? Or was it what was tried and true? Was it just good versus evil? Was it just that Sting was the good guy and they were the bad guys? And it wasn't realism. It wasn't edgy. It wasn't gritty. It wasn't single camera shots going to the back like NYPD Blue. What if it was just good versus evil? And what if that's what was hot? It wasn't the NWO logo T-shirt, even though they sold a lot of merch, and Kevin Nash identifies that as the benchmark of being a good pro wrestler, is how much merch did you sell. Mm-hmm. What if it actually wasn't that? What if it was just Crow Sting? They were winning the ratings war for 83 weeks straight, beating WWE. And what were the dates of the 83 weeks? What was that run?
June 95, I think it was.
I don't think it started until 96.
96. June 96.
Was WCW 83 weeks.
I think it was like June 96 to 98.
June 96 to 98. When did Sting stop being the Crow Sting?
After War Games. War Games. After War Games, that's when he slowly became the Sting. Then I'll say summer '97 or spring '97. That's when the Wolfpack. He joined the Wolfpack.
So Sting officially joined the Wolfpack June 1st, 1998.
Damn.
July 8th, 1998 is what they're showing right here. This is pre him going to the Crow. He became the Crow Sting right around, you're right, just after War Games, the first time he came out with the white face paint. It slowly got more and more covering his face, more and more Crow-like. So I'm going to ask again. The nWo story started before they started winning the 83 weeks and lasted well after the 83 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But Sting joined the nWo on June 1st, 1998.
Mm.
And the 83 weeks ended in 1998.
Mm. Well, damn. Damn. Mind blowing. I thought it went longer than that. I thought it happened before the end of the 83 weeks.
Trying to get exact dates here. Yeah, so the 83 weeks consecutive was June 96 to April of 98. So it ended, the straight streak ended just prior to Sting joining the nWo Wolfpack. But then a few months later, he joined nWo Wolfpack, and we never looked back. WWF won consistently from that point forward. So again, I got to ask, was the 83 weeks because of the nWo? Or was the 83 weeks because we all wanted to see good triumph over evil? Because if it was the story of the nWo, why didn't the 83 weeks continue? But whenever we ended Crow Sting, the 83-week streak stopped, and people stopped caring about WCW.
That really happened at the 83 week mark? Damn.
April was the 83 was the end of, so it was 83 straight weeks from June 96 to April of 98. And in June 96, we first started getting the cracks and the belief of a Sting nWo or a Sting WCW. Because that was the imposter Sting in the limousine who beat up Luger. It was, then we had War Games, and imposter Sting came out first. Actual Sting came out second, attacked the nWo, and then said, "Is that good enough for you?" and then walked out of the ring. And then we had all the nWo courting him, and then he eventually went to the rafters.
Mm-hmm.
And it took until Starrcade 97 for him to wrestle again, except for we did have the Sting versus Imposter Sting match that did happen. And we also had Sting versus Rick Steiner that happened. I personally forgot about those taking place. This from the WWE Vault reminded me that took place. And that was whenever he gave like the Steiners the bat and turned around and then came back and ended up Scorpion Death dropping Rick Steiner. We did have some interactions was Sting getting physical with people that I forgot about.
Okay.
He attacked Jeff Jarrett.
I gotta watch that tonight now. I found something to watch tonight. Okay.
It's like 2.5 hours. I actually haven't watched the entire thing. But just got to ask.
Okay.
What was the thing? What did it? Was it the nWo, or was it just classic good versus evil? It seems to be.
Okay. It's like this. I would say this. It would be in the beginning. Well, we'll just say the first 6-7 months, nWo taking over. Then when it got to that little 6-7 month, when somewhere in that time frame, when Sting left, went away, and then roughly came back. What, 2 or 3 months later? He was up in the crowd, just looking like a ghost. I can't know who the hell he was. And every week they would just show him for like what? Not even like 2 minutes, just up at the crowds with that crow. Sometimes with the crow, sometimes not with the crow. But I would say it got more entertaining for that Sting when he first came down from the Raptors and that bungee cord, I think it was. And every time he came down from the ring with the bungee cord is when everybody was so excited to see Sting.
So I'm sure you remember quite some time ago, I took a lot of heat because I said the best thing Sting ever did for his career was shut the hell up and stop wrestling.
I remember you said that. Yeah, you did say that.
And he was never a stellar promo. He was never exceptional in the ring, but he shut up and quit wrestling and became the biggest star in the industry. And that's whenever he became the icon Sting. Now, he didn't get that moniker until many years later, but that's whenever he became that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got to just ask, like, was it really the nWo, man? If you look at the numbers, numbers never lie, but liars use numbers. The 83 weeks started whenever we started to doubt the Stinger, and the 83 weeks came to an end whenever Sting joined the nWo. The success of WCW may not have actually been because of the nWo. It may have actually just been because of one man. The one star that was homegrown, tried and true, WCW to the core. And it was Sting. It wasn't Flair, wasn't Arn, wasn't Lex. It wasn't guys who ever detracted from WCW. It was the guy who was there from day one. And it was Sting, who was the cornerstone of an ongoing story that ran through the entirety of the 83 weeks of WCW success. And whenever he broke away from that and did what didn't make sense and joined the nWo, WCW never stood a chance to regain any ground. Downtown Championship Wrestling. Check us out live on Instagram. Cleveland with love. We are talking about the 83 weeks of WCW and what was the actual story that made them so strong. Was it the nWo or was it Crow Sting? And I am inclined to believe Crow Sting was the cornerstone of WCW. It wasn't the nWo. It was the ultimate good guy, but he was a Dark Knight kind of hero. But it was, at the end of the day, good versus evil. Which then leads me to my follow-up question for you.
All right.
Would you say that story was good versus evil? Sting, Crow Sting versus the nWo. Was that tried and true good versus evil?
I would say so.
Right? Crow Sting versus the nWo is good versus evil, and it carried the 83 weeks. June 96, April of 98, it was Crow Sting versus the nWo. Now, if we're talking good versus evil, we're talking baby faces versus heels.
No.
Ask.
No,
Did you
I
hate
already know you're getting that.
yet? Did you hate everything about the nWo, Joe? Or was there a little bit of stuff that you liked? I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
I like what they did in
We all liked stuff about the nWo. They were cool heels. They weren't the
I
most
would say that they were
cool heels.
I would say
the one who we hated was Hogan. We hated Hogan. We didn't hate the nWo. We liked Hall and Nash because they were just too sweet.
I would say yes. I did like the nWo, but like I said before, I just didn't like that they gathered a whole lot of people.
When we split the nWo up, and we had nWo Wolfpack and nWo Hollywood. Joe, were you black and white or were you black and red?
Ooh. See, that was a tough one back then because, like,
what were you?
I was more like I like the black and red, the Wolfpack theme song.
We were Wolfpack, brother. We were Wolfpack, and it was Hall and Nash who made us want to be Wolfpack because they were cool heels, but they were the most dastardly. They were the first ones with the ball bats. They were the first ones jumping the guardrails. They lawn darted Rey Mysterio, but we liked the cool heels. So I guess that adage that to be a real heel, you have to hate everything about them, doesn't really pile up, does it? Because when I look at the greatest story, one of the greatest stories ever told, which is theoretically the nWo story, which I don't think is actually the story anymore. I think it was Crow Sting is what carried WCW. We didn't actually hate the heels. We hated Hogan. All of us. Our little clique in high school. We hated Hogan. But we liked his entrance. I liked his entrance. I hated Hogan, but I liked Jimi Hendrix's entrance.
About it. Yeah, I know about it.
We wanted to see Sting beat Hogan. We wanted Hogan to get his comeuppance. One thing I did not remember about that era of WCW, I didn't remember Nick Patrick being such a crooked referee for so long. Like, it was like right out the gate, Nick Patrick was on the take from the nWo. I didn't remember it that way.
There was he did that in like a whole bunch
of matches. Nick Patrick was doing some shady shit to benefit the nWo, and I don't remember it that way. I remember Nick Patrick being the crooked ref in the Sting Hogan match, sure.
Yeah. I
remember that. But they were speculating Nick Patrick being part of the nWo back in like August of '96, more than a year before Starrcade '97. I'm like, wow, like I didn't remember it that way.
There was I don't remember which match it was. There's the one he did like a little fast count on. I don't remember when it was. And then there was another one. I think it was like a Bret Hart versus. He got a DQ for something with Bret Hart in it. It cost Bret the match. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, he did a lot of shady stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to run down a few things, and we can circle back and talk about those things. So I'm talking so much about the nWo and the Crow Sting because of the comment that I got that the Mox story is the Darby Allin story. And I think that's probably right. Like that, Darby Allin being the end game makes a lot of sense. If we started seeing Darby like lurking in the rafters in a couple weeks, like he's done that before, but we started doing it like in a vengeance kind of way, like Crow Sting. I could totally see that. I could see a lot of the story beats of Crow Sting and the nWo happening in AEW today, because this Mox story kind of piles up to being it feels very much like the nWo, right?
Yeah, it turned into 4 people and a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can kind of nitpick that a little if we really wanted to, of like things that aren't great. But I don't really want to nitpick it too much. My only like thing I would say right now with the Mox crew, which I don't know if we're calling them the Death Riders or what we're calling. I don't know what their faction's name is. I have
Death Rider.
I think Death Riders, and Death Riders is cool as hell.
They got it. They be having it on the Titantron when it comes out. Death Riders.
Yeah. My only like nitpicky thing is whenever they're doing these like surprise like jumping people, hitting the ring, Pac should not be in his ring gear. He's always in his ring gear. It's like he doesn't own street clothes.
But you gotta remember, in every group, there's always one person that doesn't wear the same clothes as each other.
I know. Savage never had anything that didn't have tassels. Yeah, I get it. But I think, like, Pac's an intimidating little fella. Like, he's a little guy, but he's intimidating. With that said, I think that he would be even more intimidating in street clothes, where you're having this, again, they're trying to give us, the idea of some realism with this story and trying to make us believe a lot. And for me to believe a lot, it's hard for me to think this guy's just kind of wandering around in his ring gear. That doesn't seem quite right.
I see it like this.
And again, that's being very nitpicky. Like, I am really, like, I'm reaching for that one. Because otherwise, I think most of what's going on with this story is fantastic. And I probably think it's so fantastic because it's so reminiscent of the nWo. And
I'm just gonna say this. The rest of them in the group wearing street clothes, it fit them perfect. But I'm just gonna say, with Pac being the shortest one in the group, him dressing like that, it wouldn't fit his character. He'll just look out of place. So I see why he wearing his ring gear.
I get that it wouldn't fit his character. My thing is are we looking for this to be fitting of someone's character? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this story needs to be fitting into somebody's character as much as it needs to be telling the story that is the vengeance that Darby Allin is going to seek. Like, I think that the Bastard Pac can evolve to just being Pac. And that guy can be wearing, let's be honest, his moveset and his personality, I believe he beats the shit out of 90% of that roster wearing a hoodie and cargo shorts. Like, he could dress like me, and I believe him.
But think of it like this. Think of it like this. You got a group, and Pac out of all the group is the fastest. And as long as he's in his wrestling gear, he can get the quick, fast attack on anybody, and then the rest can start jumping in.
True. That's true.
Because you need somebody with fast speed, agility. That's Pac. He can come in, start taking everybody out. Then that's when the rest of the crew comes in and helps attack him. Then Pac can go to the next person, quick and fast, being in his wrestling gear. Then they just start jumping. So Pac would be like, let's just say Pac is the knight out of the group taking the first hit. Boom. Then the rest coming in, attacking.
Yeah.
And your little ring general, Mox, just standing there watching.
Let me tell you, that promo Mox did ahead of Collision last night, it's just so believable. Like, him leading that group in that way is so believable. Also, if anyone needs it, we do have our Sorry Brian all-white V-necks available at our merch table. Link in the bio.
What you looking at evil for, girl? Man. Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. All right. That's the Halloween costume.
Yeah,
Okay, hold up.
The wings come off.
Halloween costume, y'all.
Oh, Halloween costume.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay. Girl, you gonna get? Yeah, she needs a bath tonight. Whatever. She needs wash. I'll let y'all have a little too bonding moment when we walk away. I'm walking away. Have y'all bonding moments? I'm walking away, y'all. See, I'm standing right here in the kitchen, y'all. Mine. Mother, no, that mine. Shut the door. Go ahead. Bye. Okay. We good now.
So whenever I look at like the major storylines across AEW and WWE, but look at AEW first. I think the Mox story is like front and center. Blackpool Combat Club or the Death Riders, whatever we're calling them, like that's like their top story, right? And then off of that, we have a lot of splintered stories.
I can say this. I'm gonna say this before we get into a crazy topic here. As of right now, I'm gonna say, besides MJF, this Mox still got the best promo talking so far. It's so believable. It's so great. I had to go back and watch the first one he did, then the one he did Friday, then last night. It was perfect.
You know, again, I've said this like so many times over the last few weeks, month, whatever. Like right now, I believe Jon Moxley, and that's so important in pro wrestling. Whether you're a heel or a babyface, I have to believe what you're saying, and I believe Mox. Everything he's saying, I just believe it. Like it's, I'm able to believe not just his words, but his delivery. I'm not a sentimental guy. I'll burn down the forest to plant a new one. Like, I don't know. There's no way he just came up with that. Like, that's got to be from something. But the way he delivered it, it's like, man, I believe him. I believe he will tear the entire promotion down to start new if he has to. And he'll do it with the group that he has, or he'll call up Sami Callihan, and he'll do it from there, and he'll make it happen. I believe in Jon Moxley. More than I believe in Joe Hendry, I believe in Jon Moxley.
I say that burn the forest down, that's from a song. I don't know what it is, but I believe it's from a song. But he got good.
Got to be from something.
But I'm going to say, as of right now, I just want to know what the damn belt look like. That's all I want to know. I just want to know what the belt is. They ain't showing the damn belt.
He said that the belt represented everything he hated about AEW.
I don't represent the black and gold. That's why I didn't join this company for this. So I'm thinking
he's getting rid of all symbolism.
He's getting
no iconography. It's all gone.
I think he coming after everybody with the belts, and he's gonna change every single belt, different color. So whoever got the belt that he wants, that he needs in his faction, they're gonna take away the black and gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, or he just takes them off TV. Doesn't replace them with anything, because belts are ego. And his whole thing is it's about the egos, right? Like if you have a belt, like you have an ego, right? If you got the strap on, you're flat. Like there's an ego about that. And then I look at like what else is like hitting the marks in AEW, and I'm getting to this because I want to talk about like some of the top storylines. So, I without a doubt, like we have like the Mox story, and then off of that, we then have what would be essentially the four faces, I guess, of AEW, which is your Danny Garcia, your Hook, your Orange Cassidy, and of course your Darby Allin. And we have those other three guys. We have their story because I think Darby's is just directly connected to Mox. We have the Danny Garcia one, which is going to be in a roundabout way him getting to MJF. We'll get there. I personally don't believe in Danny Garcia. I said that last week. I said it I'm not saying I can't. I'm just saying right now I do not.
I just say 2 out of 4 sound like a face of the company. Just 2 out of 4. The other 2, I don't see it yet as them being the face.
I would like it if I could believe in Hook. And I had an idea thrown my direction as I shared the premise of those 4 faces of AEW. And the question that I kind of got was, what if Hook's the one who took out Taz? If Hook took out his own father, depending upon how that promo is delivered, I might then believe in Hook.
Here's the thing. I would say this. If Hook took out his dad, Taz, I'm going to keep it real with y'all right now. Me and Hook are on the same level. We ain't great with promos, y'all. We got the bad voice and everything. Real. Now, if I would take out my dad, I would just hire you to do my talking for me, and I'll just stand there and look like a mean-ass person and ready to kill somebody who steps in the ring. I'll just let you do the talking because me and Hook, we're second, and we're bad with promos. So, okay.
So let me ask you this. If it got revealed that there was security camera footage, because cameras are everywhere, that's how we know about CM Punk and Jack Perry.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up with surveillance footage that shows that Hook was the one who took out Taz.
Mm-hmm.
And Hook comes out. He tells Taz that Taz was never a good father. Taz was so concerned with making ECW successful and it eventually failed that he was never there for him growing up. And then Taz tried to be a WWE superstar and he failed at that. And he wasn't there for him then. And then Taz tried to be a commentator and he wasn't even good at that in WWE. Taz was never his father. But he found a new father. And Hook aligns himself with Christian Cage. Would you believe in Hook then?
Nah. You know what I would believe?
Especially if Christian becomes his mouthpiece. If Christian delivers that promo and he tells Taz those things, that's why your son joined me. Because you failed at everything you've ever tried. You failed in ECW, you failed in WWE, you failed in TNA, you failed in commentary. You're absolutely terrible. You couldn't. The House of Hardcore, you only ever trained one pro wrestler. You couldn't even train your own son. He had to go and train with Cody Rhodes. And Christian delivers that promo for Hook. I could believe in Hook then.
You know what would be better? He'll be better. Since the world today can update technology and hack video cameras. Let's just say it was Hook taking out his dad and MVP stood right behind him and walked away. Because you got to think about it. They can update cameras these days in time. And you don't really know when that contract was up for MVP. So they could just play it off.
Yeah.
And
it could be MVP behind it.
Yeah. So I would say
but I do agree. Hook needs a mouthpiece. Hook needs someone to do his talking.
I think MVP would be better.
Maybe around the steroids. Maybe.
MVP would be better. That'd be better.
Not Don Callis. Let's not do Don Callis. If we could avoid that. But whenever I look at that, I look at the Mox story, look at the Darby story. I feel like that's 5 stories in one, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Then we have Ricochet's success currently in AEW as another top story, I think, in AEW.
Yeah, how in the world? That's called Yogurt Girl. That's what you do.
So
Damn.
I think those are the top 6 stories happening in AEW, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll give you, I will run down what I see as the top 6 stories in WWE, and then we can talk about it.
All right.
And you can tell me if you agree with this list of 6 that I have.
6. Okay.
Number 6, I have Bronson Reed, the monster that is Bronson Reed. Just the story arc that is building him up as this monster.
Mm-hmm.
I got that in there, and this is in no particular order. I'm not. This isn't stacked. This is just 6.
I'll go with that.
I think
I'll agree with that.
we have the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan Judgment Day story that is still going. I think that's considered to be one of their top stories.
Division. Yeah, women's division.
Yeah, I think it's all I got, right? That is the Raw women's story. Combined with, I guess, Tiffany Stratton having the Money in the Bank briefcase. So that's number 4.
Okay.
Because we still have a Money in the Bank briefcase out there to be cashed in. And it's the only one out there. The men's one's been done. So that's a story that doesn't get a lot of attention, but it probably should have already happened. Then I think we have the Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton story.
It's slowly building up to it. Yeah, that's definitely slowly building.
Which I guess you could call that the undisputed title story, but Kevin Owens hasn't talked about the belt. There's no chance for him to compete for the belt in the near future because Cody's tied up with Gunther. But again, we'll circle back to these things. A few of these things. We have the breakup of the New Day. Again, these are the ones that I'm thinking are like these are what I'm considering. Well, not even my opinion. This is what I think WWE thinks are their top stories, in contrast to what are AEW's top stories. I think the New Day thing is what's looked at as a top story, right?
That is right. Yeah.
Again, slow burn, but we can talk about it. We can dissect it in a second. And then I think this one is what I guess I do consider this to be the number one story in WWE from their perspective is the bloodline and reassembling the OG bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in these stories, man, I think the Bronson Reed thing is fantastic. I really do. I'm a fan of Bronson Reed, and I've been begging for a monster in WWE for a long time. And I've been specifically asking for it to be Bronson Reed for a very long time. So for me personally, that's my number one in WWE. That story to me has significance. It's building a star that can be a star. As long as you don't fumble the bag, can be a star for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
What did I say next? Oh, I said that the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan Judgment Day thing, and the Tiffy Stratton. So I think here's my thing: is that I think it's viewed the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan Judgment Day thing is I think that's like considered to be a top story on Raw in the women's division. I think it's the only thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's absolutely stupid and it's not entertaining at all. My opinion. It's been going on forever with no payoffs, and everything is garbage.
Yep.
The only thing that was good was seeing Dom end up like a pinata getting hit with a stick. That was fun. Everything else is a complete waste of time, especially opening Raw for eating away at a 2-hour show. Opening Raw with those segments, it's not good. I haven't paid a lot of attention to Tiffany Stratton having the briefcase, but I think having the briefcase should really be kind of. They've gamed it up a little bit here and there, but I think that cash in is going to have to happen soon, so you don't lose any momentum and you can switch her to babyface, I guess.
I think she's going to cash in the right time, but just not right now. You got to wait.
I I think the Judgment Day one, I've said so many times, I don't think we should be breaking up the Judgment Day. I just don't think you should break them up. I really don't. But I also think that the possibility of breaking up the Judgment Day has been going on for a while. Thank you, everyone. Check us out live on Instagram. Just a reminder, this live show on Instagram is to help raise some money for the American Red Cross. If you have the opportunity, you can donate right here on Instagram. Or if you want to purchase some merch, you can check out our merch table, link in the bio. Portion of all profits is going to go to the American Red Cross in the month of October. But I don't know how you do the Judgment Day breakup in a way that feels okay. Like,
you take out the weak link.
Yeah, or you have it be a jealousy thing.
Yeah. Dang, girl,
it's just gonna be a bummer when it happens. But now the top two stories that I think WWE has is KO versus Cody Rhodes and the OG Judgment Day. Joe is frozen. Hopefully he will fall out. There he is. Would you agree? Like KO versus Cody and the OG Bloodline are the top two stories in WWE today?
Yes.
Okay, now hear me out.
Wait.
Hear me out.
Say it one more time. Let me think about this one more time. KO.
Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes, and reassembling the OG Judgment Day to face, the OG Bloodline to face Bloodline 2.0 are the top two stories in WWE right now.
Okay. I'll say the Bloodline is definitely the top.
Yep.
KO and Cody, it's not there yet, but you can see it starting to form. So it's not quite the top story just yet.
What would you consider to be number two in WWE right now? Because we're in agreement. Bloodlines get what they feel, and I think what fans feel maybe is number one in WWE. But what is their number two? If I look at AEW, number one is the Mox story, and it's the why and what if of the Mox story, followed by what the number two, I think, is what is the vengeance going to be for the Mox story. So is that Darby? Is that one of the four faces? So I think that's one and two that are directly linked to each other. Like, it's hooked. But that's one and two in AEW. I don't think something else takes precedent over those things in AEW in this moment and over the last 30 days. Because what I'm doing with this conversation, I want to dissect the last 30 days. Who's had the better thing? What's been better?
And WWE storyline.
But just overall, in comparison of the two companies, in my opinion, I think AEW has been better.
Okay.
But then I try and figure out, like, the thing that I think are the top two in WWE, I actually don't think are very good.
Okay, I'll say this.
What do you think is number two? If it's not Cody and KO, what's number two in your opinion?
Well, if you had to do it storyline wise, the number two would have been Punk and Drew. Would be number two. But if you're talking about right now, like if that was like eliminated right now, I would say number two would go to Seth and Bronson. Because I would say Breaker and Jay, but that's kind of tied in with the Bloodline storyline.
I mean, a little, but it's also kind of splintered off from it. And, like, if I look at, like, for me, and again, I rattled off that six as what I think WWE thinks. For me, I think some of the top things happening in WWE right now aren't even, like, main event things. I think Braun Breaker and Jey Uso is a top thing. I think Carmelo and Andrade is a top thing. I think you sprinkle in a little LA Knight there. I think that makes that a little bit more interesting. That's not even like a main event scene thing. I think WWE's mid-card right now is a better scene than the main event scene, which is a strong place for WWE to be because you have a future bench there. Whenever I look at like what I think WWE sees as like the main things, I don't think they're very good. Like right now, do you think the Bloodline story is really good?
It's it's like a toss up.
It's like the possibility of it, of like what we think is coming. That possibility seems like a great payoff. But if you look at like Bloodline 2.0 and what they've done, looking back at it, and looking at this past Friday, was that good? Has Solo been good in the role he was put into? Because the crowd chanting Solo sucks. I'm trying to determine if they're chanting that because he's got great heel work, or if they're chanting that because as a leader of a faction, Solo sucks.
I was saying they're saying Solo sucks because you got look at it like this. When Roman was the head of the table, he would have everybody get out the ring and walk away. Solo, he has everybody still in the ring when he's doing his talking, trying to protect them. And go ahead, eat the salami, girl. Eat it. Girl, eat the salami.
I guess let me rephrase my question. Do you believe in Solo Sikoa?
I believe in Solo Sikoa. I would believe in Solo Sikoa if he manages to stop, if he does things alone, if he manages to win.
You cut out there, Joe. I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah. People starting to call me. Hold on.
You're too popular. Ooh, is it the people from Love Is Blind?
No, not from Love Is Blind. No. Nah, but anyway, I would say this: the moment Solo beats somebody by himself, clean. If he pins Roman clean, no help, that's when you can say you believe in Solo.
When Solo delivers promos, do you believe what Solo's telling you?
Not all of them, but some of them. Not
all
of them.
Like I struggle sometimes. It's like I don't know that I buy this. Like I don't know that I believe this guy. Jacob
I would say
Fatu not talking. Like I believe Jacob Fatu, and he ain't got to say a word.
Now Jacob Fatu, not him. Yeah, Jacob Fatu. He's got to give you that. He can give you a crazy ass look, and you ain't got to say nothing. I believe you. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, like I just like he's believable, and I don't know what it is because I Solo in NXT. I feel like I really believed for what I was being given of Solo in NXT, and Solo as Roman's enforcer. Well, I believe Solo in that role too, but Solo as a leader, I don't really believe, and maybe that's the point. Maybe I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
And maybe that's supposed to lead to the Solo sucks. And maybe I'm reacting exactly as I'm supposed to. But then whenever I look at the other product I have on the other channel, again, it's not a comparison one better than the other, but I'm finding a lot of things I can believe on the AEW programs that right now over the last month, in the month of October, like I really believe Mox. I really believe Darby.
I believe more. Yeah, I'll say in order to believe in Solo would have to pin Roman clean. Like both of them fight each other, no interference, no nothing. If he beats him clean, 1, 2, 3, or even if they did a DQ match, not DQ. He'll have to pin him 1, 2, 3, and then I will believe him.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it will happen.
You think so?
I say this: if they want him to be a believable star, he would have to pin Roman at Crown Jewel because majority of Solo crew can't get overseas if
Yeah.
they did pass. So Crown Jewel would be the perfect spot for it.
Hmm. I wonder if that's the route they go.
I would say that's the route they go. I would say Solo pins him at Crown Jewel because if y'all know background story of most of the people on both sides hardly can't get overseas. and
Yeah.
that'd be the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that probably would be the best spot to do it in. I mean, we had a lot of wrestling happening in AEW this week. We didn't have a ton happen in WWE. We built a lot of story.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this week's 2-hour Raw was productive.
Yeah.
But then I look at like last night, AEW had Collision and Battle of the Belts, kind of. And man, last night's AEW was really good.
I would say this: they could have took out some of them matches on Collision and put the Battle Belts on there.
Yeah, so Battle of the Belts, I feel like they kind of missed what the Battle of the Belts was originally like all the belts were defended. Like,
yeah.
I could see not having Mox defend, but you could have fed Mox somebody.
Yeah.
You could have done something where somebody won a thing and they got to face Mox, and like, is that really winning if you get to face Mox and you're just gonna get your ass beat?
Yeah, I think. And what was cool about it was they won the trios match. The Dark Order came out. They beat up the Dark Order. Then he said, "Oh, you guys are tough. You want to battle for the belts? Get me a ref out here. Ref, you work for me. Get out of here." And that's when the kicker. He told the ref he works for him. And that is when you said earlier this week, you asked me a question. Well, earlier that day, you sent me a text about.
So what did I ask you, Joe? What did I ask you? Prior to Collision, I sent Joe a text message. Go ahead, Joe. Tell the good people what that text message was that I sent you.
He said, "What if Tony Khan is behind this and Mox is working for him?"
What if John Moxley is doing this under the orders of Tony Khan, so Tony Khan can take back control of the promotion? Because listen, Tony's a wrestling fan. He's connected to the internet wrestling community, as much of a negative as that may possibly be. But what if this is the angle? Like, I lost control. The Elite took me out. I completely lost control. At first, it was Punk. First Cody leaves. Then Punk acts a fool. Then the Elite takes me out, and I can't control these people. Now, how do I get back control? Well, I got to go to the one guy I can trust. The one guy who had no contract with me but was world champion. Could have walked into SummerSlam with my belt, and he didn't. Mm-hmm. The only guy Tony Khan can really trust in AEW is John Moxley. Yeah. Look, the company started with the Elite and Cody. Cody left. The Elite negotiated and talked to WWE about leaving. There's a story there. Mox could have left as world champion. He had no contract. He was a free agent with the world title. And he stayed put. Didn't even talk about his contract. Mox might be the only trustworthy man in professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. Imagine if it's Tony. Here's what sucks. This is the part that really pisses me off, Joe. I'm going to bring you in for this one. Imagine it's Tony Khan. Imagine that's the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good the way I just told it, right? And this is why Tony would do it. He had lost control. All these things. Here's the big issue: is that if it's Tony Khan, people are going to quickly connect to that man right behind me. See that man? See him?
Man. I see him.
See that man right there? And here's the problem: is that people are going to associate it with that. People are going to say he's ripping that story off and all these things. That story wasn't original. Nothing WCW did was original. Nothing. And WWE hasn't done many original things in a long time. Nothing's original. Everyone steals something from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone does. If they tell it right, it can be a great story. The problem is that pro wrestling fans are fickle, as Brian Danielson would say. And they're ripping apart online because shitting on AEW is cool. And I think it would be a great story and could make for some great TV, and I will truly enjoy it if it is Tony Khan. I'm enjoying it now, and I have no idea what the hell is going on. I don't got to know all the inner workings of everything. I just believe it's on TV. Man, that you work for me really makes you think it's Tony, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Could be Shane.
Yeah.
Don't know how you get it to be.
I think it's Shane.
The only way you get it to be Shane is have it. I don't know how you have it make sense. As fun and as silly as it would be, I don't know that it makes sense. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's Shane, y'all. It's not Shane. I think it is Tony. After hearing that last night, you work for me. It could be Tony.
Could be Tony.
But the only way it could happen.
It honestly, it should be Tony. Like, it should be Tony Khan. That's the best story, is that it's Tony Khan.
But this is why I say it could happen. If it is Tony Khan, it has to take place in Jacksonville.
The reveal
that that TK can't go nowhere because he's injured and he can only be in Jacksonville, Florida. And so the only way for it to happen is they take the Elite out in Jacksonville. So whenever the next time he be in Jacksonville is when it happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to the Fantasy Factions group chat to ask everyone, the person behind Mox and his crew is Tony Khan. How will you guys feel about it? The fans, see what the people out there would think. I would like it as long as it's done right. Mm-hmm. And the motivation makes sense. And that motivation I gave made a lot of sense. With all that, Joe, mm-hmm. Let me ask.
Go ahead.
We broke down some top storylines in AEW and WWE. We both kind of in agreement, but we're enjoying right now the most is AEW.
I can say that, yes, AEW.
With all that, who is your wrestler of the week? Brought to you by Get Big Shots on Instagram. Go get your big shots. You see, I got my Pet Monster. I have Mark the Monster. You know, those are my plush buddies. But you can go to get big shots. You can get UFC. You can get WWE. They do some Street Fighter, some other random things. They got a Conor McGregor. All kinds of cool stuff. Also, I think they're doing a 10% pre-order discount still. I think that's still going on. I may be wrong.
Okay. My wrestler of the week. I normally am against this. Normally I am, but my wrestler of the week. It was Shelton Benjamin. It was Shelton Benjamin because I say it every week. It's about the future, about being. But then seeing Shelton Benjamin in the match with Leo Rush. Man, he still got his moves for being 50 years old. He still got it for being 50. So I cannot hate on that.
You know,
He went in.
there were people online who were talking shit about Shelton Benjamin with that knee from the outside, about how he botched it and fell. Nothing made that look more. But the fact that he fell made it look so legit.
I know.
You ever tried to throw a jumping knee at somebody, at a bag, anything? It ain't easy to land that shit.
No, it's gonna hurt. You're gonna pull a muscle or something. Yeah.
Back in my fighting days, we used to try and throw flying knees at the speed bag. Man, I always landed wonky, and I was much smaller whenever I was fighting. We try to do those flying knees at the speed bag. Man, that shit sucked.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say just because watching that, I was like, nah. I saw Shelton, and then that kick in the ring, he did the Leo. That kick, I think.
Yeah.
The kick did it. It was perfect, believable too.
Shelton Benjamin and Leo Rush put on a great match, which, talk about that again in a second. But Shelton Benjamin, your wrestler of the week, he absolutely did a great job. My wrestler of the week is Ricochet.
Okay.
Ricochet had a great. There's continued to put on great matches in AEW, and whenever Collision kicked off with Ricochet versus AR Fox, I looked over at my wife. I said, "Man, it's really great to just see Ricochet wrestle, be given the time to wrestle a Ricochet-style match on TV, because WWE is always so rushed. His matches were always so short, and you didn't get to see him really do what Ricochet does that makes Ricochet special." I will also say, I feel like he's getting more comfortable in delivering an unscripted promo, and I'd be interested to see how his promos are 3 months from now. If we keep handing him a mic and we just keep letting him talk, he's getting more and more comfortable. And again, what he's saying, the way he's saying it, yeah, it may not be the most charismatic, the most intimidating thing in the world, but it seems authentic, and I believe it.
It does.
Now, let's move on to our matches of the week, Joe. Match of the week brought to you guys by Original Gunplug Garage. What do you got for your match of the week, Joe?
All right. Don't laugh at me, y'all. Don't laugh at me. I'm only picking this the match of the week because it was saved too. The match of the week goes out to Christian versus Jay White. I'm saying this because of the wrong reason. Because Christian, if y'all watch the match, he saved the match from being ruined and being stopped in the middle of the show.
He did. He called off Kip Sabian, who screwed up his timing, which then led to Hangman screwing up his timing, which I actually think made for a better moment. Hangman getting caught and then jumping down and laying on the ground with that look on his – it was hilarious. It's meme-worthy, and I hope someone's done a meme. I feel like there's got to be something about shit in your pants that would work.
Yeah. I'm just going to say it. I watched it live, and I was like, what happened? And I messed up. I'm like, you did. And I'm watching I see Hangman come out. I'm like, and he hides. I'm like, what? Am I missing something here?
I liked how commentary played it off. Like, Hangman got caught and jumped down. So, like, that was a good playoff. Kip Sabian jumping up there confused me because I thought someone was wearing a blonde wig pretending to be Jeff Jarrett. His hair looked like Jeff Jarrett's hair.
I know.
So I was like initially like very confused.
And then on YouTube they got Botchmania, and then Botchmania explained the whole situation on what happened. I'm like, it makes sense now.
Oh, what did they say?
Oh, I will show you the link, but I know you don't like spoilers, so I ain't share it with you. But but anyway, it's so Christian at the side of the ring, and Skip over there about to come. He like, no, not yet. That's when you see Skip at the ring, and that's when Hangman came out early because he was, how they got the script. That's when Hangman was supposed to come out. Hangman came out early because he saw Skip, but Skip came out earlier than planned.
I wonder what was the miscue. I wonder what got screwed up there in the timing.
Okay, from what Botchmania, this is Botchmania, y'all, not me. Botchmania says when Kristen got into the rope about to go for a little pile driver, that's when Skip was supposed to come out. But they did it. But Kristen was on the wrong side of the ring. He was supposed to be on the right side, the other side. That's when it's supposed to happen.
Good call on Christian saving the day and waving him off.
Yeah.
My match of the week, again, brought to you guys by Original Gunplug Garage. Go check them out for tips and tricks for building your gunplug. You already talked about the match. It was Leo Rush versus Shelton Benjamin. Great match.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Absolutely fantastic match. Really showcased both guys. And nobody moves like Leo Rush, man. He's such a special talent. I would love to see Reggie get into AEW. Be great.
Mm-hmm.
Have those two guys on the same show. Let's not make them a tag team, though. Let's keep them separated so we can just get those special talents on two different programs. Be great. Now, Joe, it's your segment.
Oh, my segment. Yeah.
It's the 2-hour war.
The 2-hour war.
What was the best 2 hours of pro wrestling TV this week, Joe?
I'm gonna say the best 2 hours was. Okay, let me explain this to you. I'm gonna start this over with y'all. Okay.
This is your segment. Do whatever you want.
I know. But I'm gonna say with the Dynamite for this segment every week. Dynamite.
Dynamite wins?
Dynamite wins it.
Why was Dynamite your favorite 2 hours of pro wrestling?
It wasn't about. It just kept me entertained. It wasn't about the matches. Like I said, the rules are whatever kept me entertained, kept me drawn to it, and it had a good little draw to it, more than like Raw did.
So I have to agree with you, Joe. AEW Dynamite was I think the top 2 hours of pro wrestling this week. I think number 2 was actually Collision. I think AEW dominated the week as far as what was entertaining. Again, I know we're not going into a major pay-per-view. We're leading into Crown Jewel, so things are a little sloppy in WWE. Mm-hmm. But from an entertainment standpoint, what kept me entertained and intrigued and wanting to know more is what's happening in AEW, and the match quality of Collision infinitely better than the match quality I was getting on any WWE show. And that includes Motor City Machine Guns debuting on SmackDown. I don't want to say I'm not excited. I don't think the tag division in WWE is deep enough to be too excited about Motor City Machine Guns being there.
Yeah, the entrance. The only thing I didn't like about it, because they ruined it. They ruined it at the last minute. They said Friday, a mystery tag team. Then when you turn on Friday, they advertised it a triple threat for a tag team title shot. So it kind of ruined everything.
And here's my thing. Who are the tag champs right now in WWE?
Oh.
On SmackDown?
Tonga Loa and his brother.
Yeah. Are they going to let Motor City Machine Guns beat those guys?
They should.
They're probably not gonna though, right? Roman talked about the bloodline having titles and all this. So they're probably gonna keep all the gold on the bloodline.
Nah, I think.
And then you're gonna have them face off against DIY. So Who gets to do Alex Shelley's moves? Does Alex Shelley get to do them, or is Johnny Gargano? Because Johnny Gargano's been doing Alex Shelley's moveset for 10 years.
That's true. I don't know. I can't tell you.
With that, everyone, thank you for joining us live on Instagram. Anyone who helped donate to the American Red Cross, we appreciate that. Again, merch table, pick up some merch and get you a shirt with mine and Joe's face on it. There's exclusive ones, but just mark the monster. They're fantastic. Pick up the one that is dangerous to go alone. Take this, and it's a folding chair. Take a picture of you with it. We'll send you a folding chair phone stand. But that is it for us this Sunday, everyone. We will be back tomorrow to preview WWE Raw. Joe, you got any last words for everybody?
Last word. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'll say for tomorrow because I don't want to ruin it now because my crystal ball says I'm going to say for tomorrow.
Cliffhanger. There we go. Mystic Joe will be joining us tomorrow to make his pro wrestling predictions. Mystic Joe shirt's available at the merch table as well. Everyone, I hope you guys have a great Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll preview Raw, and Mystic Joe will be here making his predictions. So tune in, place your bets, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
We're out.